like a daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Dan, good morning. Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well on this Wednesday morning. Sir, how you doing this morning?
Oh, doing well. Hope everybody's changing their kind of antenna on their head to happy days are here again. That, to go from, it's just such a short memory of that downside. I mean, you can look at a chart and say, I'm looking at a chart of ES right now, and you say, wow, it was only about a week and a half ago that it was the end of the world. Now, all you have to do for a catalyst is somebody comes out and says, you know what? I was just joking with Powell, and I was just joking with China. And now the market's going up again. That's all it took, Troy. That's all just a little, hey, not gonna do anything, but
I mean, it's setting up for a wild, because I don't know. Trump wants the market to go up. He doesn't. I mean, he's proven that that's the weakness, basically, in the bond market in particular. And so, I mean, I don't really know how he's going to make any claims on tariffs at this point, honestly, because maybe 10% on some stuff, but this idea, I mean, he is more or less in 2 weeks. Now, China's interesting because all he's done is said he's going to be nice, which if you think about it, it's kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
But until the 100%, 145% tariff goes off of it, he hasn't really changed anything. But let's say he does. Well, at that point, he has basically, in the span of 20 days, 21 days, undid everything that he said Liberation Day was about.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they have the Chinese memes, Troy? What were they saying? Basically, you wimped out.
I mean, the art of the deal, my butt. There's anybody who's good at negotiating understands that this is not how you negotiate.
No, it's not. It's almost like the bullies, and I don't mean to any disrespect to the president, but it's almost like a bully saying, I'm going to do this to you, you better run, and they don't budge. And now they're looking at it, how do you deal with this now? When he's basically willing to draw back everything. If you're China, what do you do with this thing? I mean, we didn't have, he's basically going to call everything back. And I mean, Paul, I didn't really, I was telling you before the show, my Irish grandmother would say, in an Irish culture, you had a few talkers, right? Especially after a little bit of liquid, what do they call it? Liquid courage or what, a few beers. And people would say some things and she'd say, just take it with a grain of salt. Right. And I don't, I'm glad when he was blasting Powell, or not when he was to fire him, that nobody took it that serious. I mean, his advisors, right? Yeah. But the market, just as it seems like the retail public is getting a little more used to how he operates, but the market has no, if you say something, we're going off it, right?
Well, I mean, I think that's right. And I mean, we're right now, I'll share my screen. Right now this morning, I mean, we're in the ES minis, we're at 54.51. I mean, we probably have 100 points to go. And then we're right back into pre-Liberation Day range.
I know.
And at that, all bets are off. I mean, I really wouldn't be shocked if by June we're at 58, 5,900. We're almost right back to all-time highs.
But is
Because
that? It's
I think what
crazy.
he's going to do is he's just going to I think at the end of the day he wants that. I think Trump wants to be liked more than he wants to do the thing
Oh,
that, and
try
so
like you're playing past you're a little bit into
yeah.
the human
Yeah.
nature. And
Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, because it's just the impulsiveness. Um, yeah, and I see in the chat there, Castle says bear market is canceled for the time
Yep.
being.
Bear
But
market's canceled.
I'll tell you what, there's still, I mean, this historic run of candles, the size of the candles,
Yeah.
which started uh, a couple months ago or something,
Yeah.
definitely will continue. Don't you think? I mean,
Well, I'll be in, so here's my takeaway, and this is someone who absolutely, as everybody knows me, I usually am a perma bear.
yeah,
I really prefer when the markets are in backwardation. That's what I realized, Dan. Like when VIX is in backwardation, I'm like Billy the Kid.
yeah,
Like I'm slinging it. Now I'm probably going to die in a saloon somewhere, but
that's okay.
the legends are happening. You know, that
But
man.
you're not a
Con-
contango guy.
I'm not a contango guy. I'm the guy you call in, during the weird times, and so I'm not looking forward to getting back into it. So prefacing that with, I really think VIX. If you look at like so far in this process, VIX 27, I think, has been the floor. Well, this morning we're gonna open up. VIX is gonna be right around 27, 27.95, I think, right now.
Right there.
So
Yeah.
this is. I would be interested. I think if we finish the week green like this and we get a VIX down to like 25, 24, man, that's not good for people like me that like high VIX. It's
I agree, and it's but in reality, it's a possibility because he hasn't. Um, if all the catalysts are, if he's basically saying, let's get back to normal, all the tariffs, blah, blah,
yeah,
what does the market have to be scared
yeah,
about? I mean, but one other thing, if you look at a VIX price chart, March 26th, we're not even talking a month ago,
right,
right? We had a
right,
low of 17,
yeah,
17 in the VIX. So, I mean, yes, I think for a lot of the 0-day iron condor people, a lot of people who like the volatility, to see it get back near 20 or under 20 is pretty crazy. And the March 26th, what I just mentioned, where VIX hit 17, uh, SPX was at 5,700.
yeah,
So you're right. I mean, the old buy the rumor, sell the news. I just think, what does it say for, you know, he's the ultimate. Again, I hate to bring up the what's the book, The Art of the Deal,
art of the deal.
and he basically runs out of the room, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I don't. So
yeah,
yeah. I mean, what, 300 points up since Monday of this week, 320 as of the
yeah,
opening today.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
the crazy thing is that people who don't like Trump, uh, some of my friends, I have a bunch of conservative friends, some liberal friends, and
yeah,
the liberal ones. What's funny is they actually were. They would never admit this. This is between me and you. I actually think they were kind of starting to respect him a little bit, that he was doing such a hard thing.
I agree.
Well, now it's just back to like, okay, this guy
Oh
is
yeah, yeah.
you know.
No, you're right. A lot. Yeah, they were, and
Yeah.
um,
So anyway,
interesting.
but we're not here to prognosticate, although for more than 10 to 15 minutes. We will
Yeah,
prognosticate for 10 to 15 minutes. But I
we're
want
just
to
as amazed as everyone else.
that's right. Yeah. I mean, what's funny is too, last thing on that, like he'll make these announcements. I think this was like at 4:40 or something yesterday.
The Besant one, or which is it?
No, this was the
China.
China niceness. I'm gonna be
Okay.
nice to China. And the market's instantly up 70. And you think, okay, That's the crazy thing about SPX. This is why I like ES futures, honestly, options.
Yeah.
Is you can make moves overnight versus SPX where you just have to sit there and wait, unless you're at a brokerage that does overnight stuff.
Yeah.
So
Troy, just we can't leave Aretha Franklin out of here and the wonderful
right.
song RESPECT.
Yeah.
That's all. See, that if you said what tickles me more than anything is China basically telling Trump, listen, for us to talk, you need to respect us.
That's right. That's right.
And you got to get can you get an Aretha Franklin in the middle, Trump in the prime minister of China on the sides? Can you work something with your creativity?
I think we can do something. I think we could figure something out. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
So what we're going to do this morning, we're going to look at one trade. And listen, the days of looking at hedges are over. That was so yesterday. Now we don't need to look at hedges anymore because we're back to a bull market. So I want to look at a trade.
Really, I didn't mean to interrupt. I mean, Wayne, but I'll tell you, if there's if you said, what do you, over the years, what do you fear as a trader? I fear the upside after a correction. Those are, and there was the label. I don't know if anybody patented it. Rip your face off rally.
Yeah.
And that's really what we've got. We got one day or one big day on April 9th. April 10th was a big candle, but then the last 2 days, those are kind of in that rip your face off. When the market recovers, it doesn't, after going down 600-800 points, it doesn't recover by going up 20 points a day for 92 days or something.
That's right.
Anyways.
That's exactly right. Yeah. If you look at the up days since Liberation Day,
yeah,
I mean, it really is, they're not up days, they're murder you days. I mean, those are days that just, they're really violent. So one of the things I wanted to look at this morning, something I'd been wanting to test for a while. And I thought this was a good starting point. And we kind of like to start things and then develop them as the shows go. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself real quick. I was homeschooled and I was a real nerd. I know you look at me, you're like, that guy, are you kidding? That guy probably king of the school. Nope, friends, that's wrong. It wasn't. Homeschooled for a bit of it. Now, I will give myself a little bit of credit. When you talk about homeschool, I was the king of the cow. Like, I was a really cool homeschooler. I've met a bunch of homeschoolers in my day, and I was by far top percentile for coolness with them. But anyway, but we all have heard the kind of trope, the bad boy, girls like the bad boy. They don't like the nice guy. I found this to be true. So this is, in my mind, this is a real Dan Sheridan trade, because Dan Sheridan's the bad boy. I mean, he's growing up on the mean streets of Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Dan, you're running around in the 70s. I mean, like, it's a different
world.
All
I learned to do was avoid the bad. Grew up on the west side of Chicago, but my brother taught me to be at least smart enough. Stay away from the bad boys.
Yeah.
Run from the bad boys.
Yeah. When you're a bad boy, there's always someone who's more of a bad boy. That's the thing. Yeah. So anyway, this trade is called the bad boy that needs to be fixed.
I love it. Yeah.
And this is a trade I wanted to test today and look at. And I'm going to tell you straight away, this is an unacceptable trade. This is a bad trade. I mean, the drawdown's ridiculous, but it's a simple trade. And so I'm going to invite you guys. I'm going to put it in the chat. Also, if you are watching and you have no idea who we are, this is Option Omega, a backtesting tool. You can go to optionomega.com, go to our Discord, and we have discussions about these type of trades all day long, and testing and trading in general. So if you have any questions about that, you can go to optionomega.com. But this is a trade where you're buying a call. And Dan, this is, I don't know if Matt has talked to you before about the idea of the orb trades, opening range breakout trades.
A little bit. Those seem pretty interesting to me. This
is a really short orb. Usually the ones I've seen have gone like usually 9:30 to 10:30 is the breakout range, time. Well, this is a 15-minute basically. So the first 15 minutes range is what we're looking to break out of. And any time between 9:45 and 11 a.m., if we break out of that range, we're going to buy a 50 delta call. Now, this is only to the upside. We're not testing the breakout range to the downside. We're just testing the upside. I mean, for the fun of it, I can tell you that the downside would have done better this year, but historically, the upside's much better.
Yeah.
So, and then the only exit point, your price rail, your guardrail, is if price moves down 15 points, we close it
From your entry point.
from the entry point.
Just 15 points of the price of what you paid or price of SPX?
At the time of opening. So if you opened it at 52, 53.05, if we go down to 52.90, you get out.
Wow. So you're giving a very tight leash on this.
Tight leash.
Jeez. Okay.
Tight leash. So
and so as long as it goes outside of the opening, the range is determined in 15 minutes, right?
yes.
And then anything outside after that 15 minutes, I think that's a good idea. Did you apply it would you normally do it like that, or are you doing it because of the craziness coming into like today?
No, what it was is I have seen, and Stevenson's chats talk about it, not just them, but I've seen other people employ this strategy, but that's the beauty of Option Omega is you can test stuff historically and see how it works. And so I'm sure everybody has their own rules and things like that. So, but the idea of a breakout is not any one person's thing,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's pretty simple. And obviously 80% drawdown is, you're not going to do that. Right. But I really did think it's interesting. And this will be a shorter show because it's Wednesday, it's hump day. The war is over. Like we won the tariff war. I think, I don't know, but markets are happy. And so we're back to happy times. Who knows how long, but we're back to happy times. So I wanted to kind of put this out there to say there's probably, if we truly are starting an uptrend, this test will do well. Now, this idea will do well. Now it's a fun idea to say, all right, well, let's take this and let's try to improve upon it. So I put it in the chat. Over the next couple of days, you can message me. You can get on Discord. You can, just put it on, get on Discord and put it. We have an OO discussion channel, OO show discussion channel. And we'll send you some swag if you're the best test. But let's just spend a couple days on it. Try to make this as best we can as a group, and go from there. I mean, Dan, have you done any of that opening range stuff before or looked at it?
I haven't. From a directional, I have not. I mean, it seems to make sense. A couple questions on it.
Please.
So the 945, would you normally, or would viewers, would you normally look at, if you asked me and you said, okay, when you're looking at maybe 0-day trades or whatever, and some people will put it on right away after the market opens, but if you want the range to develop, would you say some of the viewers or Troy, what would you guys think in terms of, and what have you found with the numbers? Does the range more establish the first 15 minutes? Do you have a better data saying we have a better idea of the range the first half hour or an hour?
I've used and have seen the majority of orbs with an hour, 9:30 to 10:30.
Okay, so it's an hour. They wait an hour to get the range.
Yeah, market profile, isn't a strategy, but I will look at the chart for an hour basically to make. And I will say this personally, not even options trading, but just trading in general. If I'm scalping futures or something, it's that first hour trade is probably the highest confidence trade that I will make. Like things where I'm just like, yeah, and not every time, but there's certain times with market profile you can just see it like we're going to at least go up 10 points. I mean, I don't think we'll stay there. You don't know what's going to happen the rest of the day, but we're going to break out right here. And so, but I have seen a lot of people use 15-minute as well. Now, not as much options people. I've seen more scalping futures people use it. So
Makes sense.
this is an interesting test because of that. But what you could do if you're new to this and you're like, I have no idea what this tool is. I have no idea what they're talking about. I just found this YouTube channel. If you have a charting software, if you've got TradingView or something like that, just do this at 9:30 today. When market opens, draw a line of, well, wait till 9:45. Wait till 9:45. Do a minute, minute candles, 5-minute candles. It doesn't matter. But basically, draw a line at the low candle and draw a line at the high candle. That is your 15-minute range. Now, you don't have to trade it. Certainly don't trade it, please. But draw it and just watch it. Watch what it does throughout the day. And that might give you some ideas to make this test better.
And
watch,
if SPX is too big, you could go to SPY.
It applies to everything. Qs, SPY, IWM.
Yeah. And in the area, like just giving you a few possible tips to make this better. You could play around with, I'm just throwing a couple out here that I'm thinking of. You could throw around a little bit different. This is for 0 day.
You could test it. Oh yeah, you could do
a different duration. But if you do a different duration, the only thing to keep in mind, do you give a little more room for the downside, 15 points? Because obviously your expected move over 2 or 3 days is much more than expected move for 1 day. So you could play with that a little bit.
Yep.
But the other thing is, think about if you're buying a call, you definitely want the market to go up. So do you put something on here? Would you rather do it on certain days? Would you rather do it with the VIX up or down? And obviously with the VIX down, the market is going in a certain direction. And when the VIX is up, it's generally going in a certain direction. If the VIX is down, it's going up. So at least those could be some areas. Do you play on certain days? And I think here it's a very specific trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very specific trade. Troy, I'm starting to watch some of the going over some of the starting capital 100, ending capital 1.1.
Yeah.
Capture rate. I mean, obviously the win percentage you think would be low, right? You're not going to have a high probability.
That's right.
You're swinging for the fence on this thing.
You're getting stopped out, but when you hit, max winner is almost 13K, max loser is 3K.
That's amazing.
And that's the trade-off of that type of thing. Now, again, the best test might be something where it's like a 60% win rate, but it's as much you're capping. You're not going for the punt. I don't know. There's a million different ways to do it. So I thought this is interesting. If we are coming out of a bear market, this will be a fun trade to kind of look at. And, I don't know. I might, if we all kind of come together and we find a great trade, we might put it on the automation platform myself and just show it every day and we could look at it. So always looking to do some fun stuff like that. But
I encourage, any, when I think of any good strategy trade, that's what, with the backtesting tool, and I think Troy has the right attitude with it. Anytime you come up with a strategy and you throw it out, if you want it, to me, I've always found this over the last 20 whatever years of trade. I've always found that if I just throw an idea out there, even if it's not fully completed, when you tell good people that are, good traders or good backtesters, can backtester / trader, they'll make it better. Most of the ideas I've come up with over the years, students and stuff have made it much better.
Yeah.
Because it becomes like you get 30 people in a room trying to make a chair, you're going to make a better chair. And I think the whole idea here is, a lot of people think I think it's the wrong attitude. I mean, I'm a big community type guy, but a lot of people think, well, the best back test I'm going to keep to myself. I spent a lot of time on it, and it's brilliant. The little bit when I came right out of the pit and I started teaching 20 years ago, I would share every little thing I knew. There wasn't that much, but I would share everything. And people would say, well, why are you sharing everything? Because I said, you know what? Trading is tough, right? It's not easy. And even if you know the secret, whatever that is, I don't know the secrets yet. But I think it's the craft, and a lot of it is, a lot of time what I'm spending on a daily basis is the little nuances, right? The little tweaks like that, and so I would invite the Discord community in Option Omega, and Troy talks about it all the time. If you've got an idea, a decent idea, or you come in here, they'll make it better, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody, they want a good idea. I mean, they want a winning trade. Now, I believe, right? And this is, I'm going to revert back to Troy was talking about bad boys. I disagree with Troy. The Mickey Rooney movie proved it. Father Flanagan, and there is no bad boy. But I'm a big believer. You take any strategy there is, you can turn it with a knowledge of options, the Greeks, a very good back tester like Options Omega. Most strategies will work, right? But the problem at the end of the day, here's the problem. The problem is us human beings are not going to stick with something, right? Or we have a difficult time sticking. And that's why if there's anybody more bullish on the world of mechanical trading, and this is a guy who traded, been involved in trading for a long time with we didn't have back testing that, years ago, really anything decent. But the mechanical, I look at it like this: the mechanical testing of bot, whatever what you call it, really will save people from themselves, right? Because they don't stick with something, right? And when I've seen people who've really lost money over time, or whatever the problem is with trading, most of the time is, did you stick with the plan? Did you stick with your rails, your risk management? And they'll say, no, Dan, I didn't. I had a period of my life where I had, instead of the vitamins in the morning, I had my smart pill, and it paid. So I can tell you from working with folk for a long time, it's not intellect in most cases where they fail trading. It's lack of discipline and sticking with something. So they might have had a good idea, but they didn't stick with it. And I think that's where so I'm excited about this test for the week, for the call, and this could be, Troy could have us at the start of one of the most historic bull markets in the history of civilization. And Troy would be the first one. Troy's if you know Troy, he's the ultimate bull, and he'll put his stamp of approval on this market, and then he'll short the daylights out of it.
That's right. That's right. All I see is a 17 VIX is cheaper 80 strikes.
Yeah,
that's all
right.
I see. Well, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Reach out if you have any questions. Looking forward to sharing how we can improve this test tomorrow. So have a good trading day. We'll talk to you soon.